Hello, welcome back again to the channel. Name is Nover, if you haven't read it. So I wanted to do a different type of video for something after I did the last video, which was like basically my return after a year, or like of doing YouTube again, like because it's been I don't even know when the last time I did YouTube was until last year. But Um, I just have all this on my mind, and I guess I just figured, why not just talk about it? I mean, there's not really any harm in that, really. Um, so yeah. Last time I did a political rant, or commentary video, I guess you could say. I don't really know why, but there was some pushback I got on it that was predictable and also really dumb. And extremely bad faith from like almost everyone except like one or two people. But yeah. And a lot of people got things wrong, predictably, and I just figured I'd just talk about that, I guess. So I did some reading, educating of things on my own, and I have probably come to better conclusions on a few things than before. So I wrote them all down in this little notepad I have here. I just called it political shit, because, I mean, what the fuck else am I supposed to call it? I already opened it though, it's down here. And these are generally the things that I do believe in, really. Things I support and all that. And I just figured I would go through and talk about that, read it. I'm gonna do this first. Not a very serious thing this is, so I'll just do this first. Then there's something a little more serious I want to talk about. And then there's something after that that's still a little serious, but also kind of funny, I guess, at the same time, depending how you look at it. But yeah. So first off, we're just gonna start with the basic conservative things I believe in. So I'm just gonna read from these pages what matters. That's it. I'm just gonna read from them what matters and what's relevant to this, because a lot of this isn't super relevant. But I'll just read what is. Conservatism is a cultural, social, and political philosophy that seeks to promote and to preserve traditional institutions, customs, and values. The central tenets of conservatism may vary in relation to the culture and civilization in which it appears. In Western culture, depending on the particular nation, conservatives seek to promote a range of social institutions such as the nuclear family, organized religion, the military, property rights, and monarchy. That's all I'm going to really read there. That's really all that's relevant. So, out of those, obviously I believe in family. I think most people do, to be honest. But not necessarily nuclear. I don't really think it matters. I mean, there's also been plenty of data to suggest that children that are raised in LGBTQ households have sometimes better outcomes than children who are part of a normal family with like a father, mother, they're just a normal family basically. So I don't really care necessarily for nuclear families. I just care for families in general. Militarization, I just think having a strong military is very important, especially in a world where we have the type of world we live in today. I mean, we see shit that goes on across the world all the time. I mean, Ukraine, Russia, every conflict, Azerbaijan and Armenia, or Artsakh. I always fuck the name up of that. I don't know why. Despite the fact that I love System of a Down a lot, you think I would know that, but besides that, yeah, that's just, it's super important. It's like nothing, like I just think it's kind of a no-brainer. That's just it. Property rights, people should be able to obviously own property. It's very basic. I don't know why anyone would disagree with this, honestly. Realism-ish, basically meaning I prefer to stick to realistic ideas, not something super like far-stretched, such as like completely free healthcare. That's really, really hard to do, or also just having a complete world where no country has a military. That's just not a realistic idea. Like, so I prefer to have realistic ideas and things. And the last one, which wasn't even something I read there, but something I read about quite a bit, is UBI, which is called Universal Basic Income. Now, I first kind of learned this from watching a content creator named Papa Gut. He's cool, actually. I like Papa Gut. I like Papa Stomach. He is my favorite man. But besides that, I heard him talk about it once, and I was a little bit interested. He even explained kind of like the basic ideas of what universal basic income is supposed to be. So essentially, it's supposed to be a new welfare system, which I think has no means of test or something like that. At least that's what I read. But I think the way that it's been proposed a few times, and I could be wrong about this, or at least the way that Papa Gut has talked about it as well, is that if you were to work like a certain amount and make a certain amount, you would also get rewarded money for basically working on all that to help with other income, or like other expenses and all that, particularly mainly necessities like housing, food, water, electricity, that type of stuff. And I just feel like that would be a better welfare system, in my opinion, than what we have now. Now, I know that some people would probably ask me, well, is that realistic? Because you just talked about supporting realistic ideas. Personally, I feel like it is a realistic idea. The problem I feel like lies in is the fact that the United States government doesn't really make back that much money as they're giving out. So that leads to us having a lot of debt. So I think the reason why this isn't possible right now is the fact that every government seems to be either really bad at managing money, or we aren't capable of doing it in a way yet where this is possible just yet. I could be completely wrong. I would love to honestly be completely wrong about that. I just feel like UBI would help so many different communities, especially impoverished communities, especially communities with lots of black people and all that, like, where, like, they're just forced in there, like, either with, like, redline housing and all that, which is also a dumb idea that needs to be abolished or whatever, reworked. But, yeah, it's just, I feel like UBI could be a good thing. And then there are the liberal ideas. We'll get there next. So, liberalism is a political and moral philosophy based on the rights of the individual, liberty, consent of the governed, political equality, right to private property, and equality before the law. Nah, I guess I'll read more. Liberals espouse various views depending on their understanding of these principles, but generally support private property, market economics, individual rights, including civil and human rights, liberal democracy, secularism, rule of law, economic and political freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and freedom of religion, constitutional government, and privacy rights. Liberalism is frequently cited as the dominant ideology of modern history, which honestly good. So obviously the things I support there are political equality, basically meaning that you, regardless of what your political stances are on anything, regardless of if you are a communist, if you are just a normal liberal, if you're like a social democrat, if you're like a normal conservative, if you're like a fucking Nazi for some fucking reason, you still have the same outcomes, and no, not outcomes, opportunities as everyone else. Outcomes is never the way you operate with things. But it's mainly, I feel like this is kind of a given. You shouldn't, just because someone believes in something different than you, I feel like doesn't mean they should have like less than you. That's obviously a dumb fucking idea. Equality before the law, basically meaning that everyone is treated under the law fairly, regardless of gender, sexual orientation, race, disability, anything like that, basically. Right to private property, basically shared with conservatism, basically meaning people can earn own private property. Very basic. I don't understand why anyone would disagree with that. Again, individual rights, basically meaning you have your own individual rights, which are constitutional and governed under the law, in which you're protected under, such as like basically under here, freedom of speech, freedom of press, etc., freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, those things. Always good things. So never should really not have that. It's always a good thing to have. Constitutional government. You obviously don't want a government to just be looking at people and just be going, yeah, okay, go to jail. I don't like you now. I can't remember. Like we've seen tons of dictators do that. That's all I really need to say. We've seen tons of dictators do that. We really need to talk about that. Like, do we really? Privacy rights basically meaning you have right to privacy. Basically meaning no one really needs to know about what you're doing behind closed doors. No one needs to know what you're saying, thinking, doing. Like, no one really needs to care about that unless you're like hurting someone. Which, like, again, the law will figure that out. Like, they will. And secularism-ish. I only say secularism-ish because while I do not agree with the religion basically at all, I really don't think religion's real. Not a single religion is real, honestly. I am a quite spiritual person. I don't really talk about it a whole lot. I'm not really going to get into the roots and gritty of that, but I do believe in some spiritual things, such as, like, the consciousness doesn't die, but the body can die, like, type of thing. Like, I think it's probably reasonable to believe that that's a thing. I mean, if you just think about energy and how that works, I just feel like that makes sense. At least if you've ever taken a science class in school. It's not like I'm in college or anything. I'm not like I'm not like I'm sucking all the information and going to school. But like, it's not like, but like, you know what I mean. It's like, you don't, I just feel like the most basic understanding of science, you can get that. And last, there are leftist ideas, which I'll just read. I have so many tabs open, I don't know why I have. Oh wait, yeah, I do. But I'm trying to figure out where I should even start. Honestly, I'll just read down here. Ideologies considered to be left-wing vary greatly depending on the placement among the political spectrum in a given time and place. At the end of the 18th century, upon the founding of the first liberal democracies, the term left was used to describe liberalism in the United States and republicanism in France, supporting a lesser degree of hierarchical decision-making than the right-wing politics of the traditional conservatives and monarchists. In modern politics, the term left typically applies to ideologies and movements to the left classical liberalism, to the left of classical liberalism, supporting some degree of democracy in the economic sphere. Today, ideologies such as social liberalism and social democracy are considered to be center-left, while the left is typically reserved for movements more critical of capitalism, including the labor movement, socialism, anarchism, communism, Marxism, and syndicalism, which I don't remember what that is. I read about it for a little bit. I don't remember. I don't care. Each of which rose to prominence in the 19th and 20th centuries. I do care about that. I'll read it eventually, but not right now. In addition, the term left-wing has also been applied to a broad range of culturally liberal social movements, including the civil rights movement, feminist movement, LGBT rights movement, abortion rights movements, multiculturalism, anti-war movement, and environmental movement, as well as a wide range of political parties. So obviously, it's pretty, like, that's just kind of everywhere, you know? Leftists kind of believe in a lot of things, it seems like. So, like, leftist ideas I support, like far left, like not far left, but more left ideas than liberal, are workers' rights. I actually feel like that's probably more of a liberal idea. Honestly, you could probably just say it's just like shared with liberalism. Honestly, you could probably just do that. And then there's fighting climate change. I just feel like that's pretty obvious. We're in kind of a time and place now where the ozone layer on the Earth, because of how much we've been using fossil fuels since the Industrial Revolution, is really kind of bad where it's getting. There's a lot of signs in science pointing towards the fact that, like, we really probably only have, like, maybe 50 years max left of, like, civilization for it to be, like, the way it is now, before certain countries start literally going under. Some say that could even be way sooner than that. I don't know. I would love to read more on that and learn about that, actually. It would probably be good to know, honestly. Probably for everyone's sake. LGBTQ plus rights. I literally wouldn't fucking exist without them. I don't know what to tell you. I literally wouldn't fucking exist without them. Abortion rights. I just feel like it's basic. Um, a woman should be able to, or a person that can hold a baby, I guess, should have the ability to get an abortion, rather it's because they just want to, which I don't agree with that, but whatever. Or because of some medical emergency, like ectopic pregnancy, or something went very, very wrong, or someone's life is in danger, or both parties' lives are in danger. It's just, without that, we would see quite a lot more deaths. And since Roe v. Wade got overturned, it would probably happen anyway, which is really dumb in my opinion. I don't know why that ever got overturned. It's so stupid. But I'm also against mass surveillance. Obviously, the government should not have the ability to just basically spy on you every second of the day. Technically, it happens, you could say, but not really to a level like China, where like there's 6 million cameras, like in every single room, every single house, every single building, every single bathroom. It's like, that's uncomfortable. Not even just uncomfortable, that's a violation of rights. And that can lead to so many bad things. I'm also against the war on drugs. It's really complicated. I don't know if I really want to get into the weeds of that, but I think the way that I think it was Nixon. I think it was Nixon who brought it in during that time. I could be wrong about that, but he brought that in, and to basically try and, get rid of drugs out of neighborhoods. That way they stop ruining families and such things like that. But I personally think there was a lot of racism involved in that. So that's why I don't really agree with that. And also, I just think, personally, I think that should be considered a freedom to do whatever the fuck you want with your body. I don't care. Like, I'm just that person. Always something I believe in. Obviously, there should also be things like rehab. That way, if someone is on an addiction, or people with addictions can go and get help. Because it's way better than going to jail or prison over a fucking drug. Like, there's no reason for that. We have rehab facilities. I don't know why they're not even utilized that much. It's stupid. I guess I got into the weeds of it anyway. I'm against torture. I just feel like it's not necessary. I just don't feel like it's necessary. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't feel like it's necessary to get information out of people. It's not. I don't know. Maybe something will prove me wrong, but I don't know, man. Never liked the idea of it. It's always made my stomach kind of turn. Even right now. And cognitive liberty, which kind of goes hand in hand with the war on drugs thing. Just because personally, like, it throughout many times in recent years anyway, like past 50 years probably, I would say, we've seen constant studies come out where mushrooms, like psilocybin mushrooms and LSD and DMT and MDMA, can help people significantly with basically just medicine. There's like certain mental things that go on. That's one reason for cognitive liberty, and also I just think it should be a normal basic right for someone to determine if, like, and check up on their own terms on if, like, how they're doing mentally. Like, we can't, like, you just can't really be sending doctors to everyone's houses all the time, just being like, hey, are you okay? Hey, are you okay? Hey, are you okay? Like, that never has happened, I don't think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong and I'm just not thinking of something. It's like a super, like, clear example. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like that should be pretty basic. And also, not to mention, like, it should be someone's obvious choice. If, like, they feel like something's wrong with, like, their mental health or something, they should go and get a diagnosis for it. All that. I just feel like that. I just feel like that would be good. I really do. I just feel like that would be really helpful. So not only we got to the end of this part, honestly, I see it. You probably see at the bottom here that I say that my result is I'm probably a type of. Oh wait, I'm not finished yet. I just remembered something. I remember how a lot of the times I was talking to people on either Twitter or YouTube or anything, and I said that I'm like a conservative-leaning LGBTQ person. Every time that I say that, everyone just hears conservative and just thinks fascist. So I guess we actually have to go over one little part that I forgot. We have to go over one little part still, and that is fascism. And what do they believe? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I support a single thing here. I genuinely don't think I support a single thing here. But let's see. Let's see what they say. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leadership, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race, and strong regimation of society and the economy. I don't even know why I even have to say this. Fascist ideas I support. Let me see. Do I support any of those? Fuck, nope. I don't. So, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you don't know what a fascist is, you must be really stupid. So, like, what Adolf Hitler was, for example, he basically wanted to keep... The Nazi Party is basically a party that wanted to basically make all of Germany white, blonde, with blue eyes, and that's literally it. With, like, no, like, literally nothing wrong in your head, like, no, like, mental, like, issues, like, no LGBTQ people were there, and no black people were there, no, obviously, Jewish people weren't there, because they wanted to get rid of them. Like, do you see, like, what I'm saying? Like, when you hear conservative, you should be thinking of nuclear family, organized religion, some militarization, just so that at least we have one, property rights, and monarchy. You should not be thinking conservatism and thinking that that's fascism. I don't know how we get these two mixed up. I don't know how so many people on the internet are anyway. Like, that's just wild to me. Like, and like, I just don't get it. They're obviously a far-right thing. Am I obviously a far-right person? Obviously not. I don't know why... I just don't know why people said such stupid shit. It's so dumb. I just didn't get it. That's just me, though. Whatever. So, at the end of all this, there are lots of different types of oh my god. Lots of different types of conservatives. Just like there are lots of different types of liberals. Lots of different types of leftists. Lots of different types of far-right people. I think a lot of us understand this. I'm pretty sure a lot of us understand this. So, either... But I'm gonna be honest. Looking at... Considering that I wrote down everything, like, that I obviously support or agree with here, at least so far in my life, because I'm not educated on everything, obviously, and I don't have an opinion on everything, obviously. Otherwise, this list would probably be a lot longer. But, yeah, it just... I would say I'm a progressive conservative. I probably had more conservative ideals. But honestly, let's be, absolutely honest here. I'm probably a type of liberal. I can't type. Like, I mean, I don't even think there's really a debate to be had. Like, I don't really understand how people get the ideas that I, like, talked about before and go, yeah, you're a fascist. Like, I feel like you're stupid. Like, I'm not even gonna really be charitable about that. I feel like you're stupid. There's, again, a lot of different types of conservatives. There's a lot of... Conservatism and liberalism are basically both super flexible ideas. Again, I was perfectly fine with taking criticism and talking about criticism before, But honestly, now every time I have a political rant video like this, or some type of political commentary video, I'm probably not going to look at the comments or respond to any of you. Because none of you know what you're talking about. I didn't have a single smart person in that comment section. There was one person that said that they wanted to talk to me and all that, but they also had like a really snide remark that they had at the beginning. And I honestly think they're probably just using me for views. I really don't care about that. I'd rather have a real conversation with someone than rather have a shit-flinging contest with someone, which is, I guess, all the internet is anymore. I don't know. But, that is, like, the most fun thing of the video, basically. So, if you're tired of, like, all the fun stuff, or, like, if you don't want any more serious stuff, you can just click off the video, I guess. But, if you want to stay for everything, let's just kind of get into, another thing I wanted to talk about. The last few days, I don't think this happened. No, actually, this happened, I think, even before that. Before I made my, like, return to YouTube video or what all that, I think it was either the day before that or the day of that. No, I think it was a day before, or even after that. Or even before that, I mean. Where Hamas, a terrorist organization from Palestine, or Gaza, basically, surprise attacked Israel and started to obviously kidnap our word civilians and kill other civilians out of literally nowhere. And honestly, I don't like the left's response to it. And is honestly another reason why I kind of decided to completely stray away from the left, because not well, like being left as I was before. These people are kind of crazy. I've seen a lot of people supporting what Hamas is doing, and look, I absolutely understand. The people of Palestine should have some land and negotiate something with Israel, which people disagree with that, but yes, that's how things work in the world. You do negotiation. That's unfortunately how things work. Unless you're a fucking terrorist, I guess. But I don't think Hamas is the answer, and I think almost everyone agrees that Hamas is not the answer. And there's some really nasty shit I'm seeing on fucking Twitter. Like, honestly. And all over the place, honestly. Hassan's also a fucking idiot, of course. Everyone knows that Hassan's a fucking idiot, though. I don't know why that's even new. So, I guess just to get started, I guess. I just kind of want to read out Destiny's tweet here, because it's the most... I feel like this is something that should be pretty basic. Like, he goes over basically everything here, and like a pretty good summarization. It's completely possible and often the case for multiple parties to be simultaneously understandable yet wholly condemnable when it comes to violent actions. Israel should not be confining those in the Gaza Strip to such horrible conditions. Settlements need to not only stop but be withdrawn from, from much, if not all, of the West Bank. However, there is clearly a security risk posed to Israelis by those in Gaza. Hamas aren't attacking Israel because of the settlements, and they'd just as soon kill every Jewish person if they had the chance to. It's literally part of their creed and the backbone to the foundation of Hamas. Now, this part is pretty obvious and true. It's pretty basic understanding. I mean, if you know, I don't have I don't have like all the knowledge on everything that goes on with Israel and Palestine, but even with the most basic knowledge I have, I feel like this makes sense. Now, I've seen some people say that Hamas has changed their charter to no longer be about getting rid of all Jewish people, but I'm gonna be absolutely honest with you, I don't know if I buy that. Like, I just don't, because, like, why are they doing this? Like, this isn't... I get that, again, I understand Palestinian people want their shit and all that, but getting rid of all Jewish people does not solve your fucking problem, and it made it worse. I don't know why that's so hard to understand, but Destiny put it out pretty straightforward. Here he said, it's understandable why those in Palestine would want to fight back. It's not acceptable to capture, torture, murder, and defile the corpses of civilians from Israel, though. Recording yourselves doing it and throwing it into the internet to show off your savagery to the world reveals far more intent than simply freedom fighting. Anyone who says this is based or revolutionary is showing their true colors. 80 years ago, they would be cheering on Jews being trained off to Auschwitz. And unfortunately, he's a little bit right here. It's like, I've seen some, I don't know, like, again, I don't even know if a lot of it's, like, true or not, because, like, some of it could be photoshopped, but, like, I've seen some, like, really crazy shit. Like, fucking literal Hamas people, like, they have the, they have, like, IDF or just normal Israelis, just normal Israelis, like, zip-tied, like, handcuffed behind them, and they're, like, literally taking pictures of them and selling them on Amazon. I don't know if that's true. Honestly, it probably is if they're doing this much shit. I really wouldn't doubt it. And recording themselves doing it, like, it's disgusting. It's not cool. The deaths of Palestinians far outnumber the deaths of Israelis, for right now. For a variety of honestly, it's probably gonna always be like that, actually. For a variety of reasons, and it's fair to take that into account when weighing up the responsibilities of both sides to end these struggles. But remember, while Israel might dwarf Palestine on its own, Israel stands against a wave of enemies in the Middle East. If Palestinians stopped fighting, perhaps the conditions would grow worse for them, or perhaps not. If Israel stops fighting, it will cease to exist, and all her citizens are likely to face the same treatment you've seen today in videos spammed across Twitter and the news today. It's pretty true. I mean, I actually didn't know this until all this actually started. I didn't realize how many enemies Israel actually had, too. I didn't realize that, like, Iran didn't like them, Saudi Arabia didn't like them, like, Syria I don't think likes them. Like, I did not realize how many enemies Israel had. But, I mean, looking through history, I guess it makes sense. So, like, I mean, yeah. The violence is tragic, none of it should be celebrated, no one should be giddy for vengeance or continuous bloodshed. If this situation is to ever be resolved, far more sober minds need to prevail in these conversations, rather than the ideologically partisan ones that look to co-opt every tragedy around the world to further themselves. He's probably talking about Hassan, and probably all the, like, basically 15-year-old white kids that call themselves non-binary. Sorry, I have a problem with that sometimes still. And think that, like, they just have the answer to everything when they don't. It's annoying. I used to be friends with so many people like that. They're really toxic, really bad people to be around. They suck out your energy. They will literally throw you under the bus and treat you like absolute fucking garbage just because you don't agree with everything they say. It's happened constantly to me. It's why I don't like the left either. Yeah, it's a little bit more of a personal anecdote and reason for it, but it's just my explanation. It's just the reason why I feel the way I do towards the left. It's just how I feel. And I don't think anything's really going to change that for me, honestly. I would love to have conversations with leftists and such, but it's hard. They aren't really willing to have conversations themselves, so you know. So yeah, that's it. I just kind of think the far left is going too far. A lot of people's colors are definitely being shown through all this. Look, like, again, I understand that like Palestine, I get they want their stuff. I get they want everything. I get they want what they lost. But supporting Hamas, and I've heard this too. I don't know if this is true either. I'll read more into it, probably educate myself more on it, but this wouldn't shock me either, to be honest. People say that Hamas basically has like dictatorial elections, like basically they don't actually they weren't actually elected by people in Gaza. They literally just basically took power and control, which that actually wouldn't shock me. I'm gonna be absolutely honest, I don't think that would shock me. But that's unfortunately just stuff that happens. But again, Hamas is not the answer. Pick your targets if you're gonna be doing shit like this. Civilians that aren't actually doing anything are not the target. You shouldn't be targeting random civilians. It's fucking crazy. So that's probably the more serious part of the video. The next part will be pretty short. It's still serious. It's related to this topic, but it's a little bit funny because this kind of goes to show another reason why I don't like the left. So, first off, here's another thing. I saw that, like, Mia Khalifa was saying some stuff. Post is unavailable. I wonder why that is. Where she basically said something like, hey, can, like, all the quote-unquote freedom fighters, basically Hamas terrorists, in Israel, like, flip their phones that way, like, she could see something, like, she's basically being a attention-seeking bitch, as normal. And I basically quote-tweeted her and said, "Whore wants to see innocent people be murdered, and R-worded is peak Western civilization moment." Just gonna say, you're just gonna be comfy at home and cheer on terrorists. I guess that just proves your real intentions, I guess, huh? And then this. Someone decided it would be a great idea to jump in my DMs and say that I didn't condemn Israel. Or, like, they didn't see me condemn Israel, so, it was ironic that I was condemning what, Palestine did. Which, I don't know what to tell you, that's fucking retarded. That's a retarded fucking way to think. I don't have to explicitly say that something is bad to think it's bad. I don't know why I have to explicitly say that, hey, Israel is also bad. I don't know why. And then they came back to me, and they used my tweet and said, concerning the amount of people explicitly defending Israel and not condemning how awful what Palestinians have experienced is, of course I wasn't going to assume you were any different. So they're just applying intentionality to me, saying that I think it's absolutely okay what, Israel has done to Palestine, and, like, I don't care about the Palestinians. Absolutely not true. I don't even know where you get that idea from. Probably because I don't subscribe to your exact narrative of how I think things should play out. Sorry that I think civilians should not be military targets, because they're literally not military targets. They're literally just targets. They also went private, so I couldn't even respond to them. Because they're a pussy. I don't even know who they are, but, like, they are a pussy. And if they ever see this, I want them to know that they are a pussy, alright? I want you to know that you literally suck and you're the reason why the left sucks. The reason why I am done with the left. And why I'm fine with being a liberal. I'm absolutely fine with being a liberal-leaning person. I'm fine with that. I don't want to be associated with people like this. Because that is fucking batshit crazy. And I don't like batshit crazy fucking people. I've been around enough of them in my fucking life. I don't want to be around any more batshit crazy fucking people. I don't have to explicitly say that what Israel has done is bad, and then just completely leave out what Hamas has done. What Hamas has done is terrible. That doesn't help Palestine at all, what they're doing. And then you want to come in here and basically justify what they're doing, and then say that I never condemned anything that Israel has done, even though you literally never said, probably only just saw some of my few recent posts, got angry that I said something that disagreed with you, and then you got mad. I don't know what to tell you. You're a pussy, and you're the reason why the left fucking sucks. It's just, you people are absolute clowns to me, and it's always going to be like that. So yeah, that's just kind of all I have to say. That's kind of all I have for the video. You know, I wanted to do something different, but, you know, I figured why not do this, I guess. Why not? You know, I also set the record straight on some things, because a lot of you have no idea what you're talking about half the time, and, you know, also, I usually won't do this, but if you are antagonistic and intentionally bad faith, and constantly when I'm talking to you, I'm probably banning you from my channel. I'm not cool with that. I did that to someone who commented on the last political rant commentary video, and they were extremely bad faith. Basically, if you say shit like all conservatives are Nazis or fascists, or if you say that like even I'm a fascist because I don't agree with everything you think, you're probably batshit crazy and I'm banning you from my channel. I just, I'm fine with criticism, reasonable criticism, but if you're gonna be an absolute fucking lunatic, you probably need to go get fucking help. I have no problem saying that. We have these fucking resources for a reason. Should probably use them. Just saying. But yeah. That's all I think I have for this video. Should have Resident Evil 4 continuing the separate ways DLC out within the next few days, probably after this one, or maybe the day after, maybe even, or maybe the same day. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah. Thank you for watching the video. See you guys. Peace. See you next one.